ready with me while we talk about things to talk about while you're making a get ready with me. That was really confusing for no reason. I get this question a lot and I thought I would address it because it is a valid question. It can be hard to know what to talk about. I want to start by saying that you can talk about literally anything. Like, there's no like do's and don'ts. Although maybe like use some common sense. You know, like nothing bad. But here's a list of my favorite things to talk about and listening to other people talk about. Okay, number one is just like a good story. Like a good story time goes a long way. I get so invested. Another thing I love hearing about and get ready with me is drama. Now, obviously, there's some rules to sharing drama online, like don't name drop. But I am so nosy. Listening to other people's drama is so interesting. You can also do like a specific video, like things to talk about. That's what came to mind because that's the video I'm making. But I've also done like things I love, things I don't understand, brands I want to work with, my favorite TikTokers. Just like creating a theme and sticking to that. Another thing you could do is what I do basically every day, which is just yap about your day. But you have to keep it interesting because people get bored easily. I'm sure your day was fun, but nobody wants to hear like a step-by-step of everything that happened. Try to stick to the interesting parts. Another thing you could talk about is nothing. People love silent reviews, silent get ready with me's, ASMR. Sometimes the best videos have no talking. Another one of my favorites is to just be creative and make something like funny or like satire. Like a while back, I made a get ready with me to run away to Deer Hannah Prep. My first ever viral get ready with me was get ready with me to sneak out, but it was fake. It's your video, like the opportunities are literally endless. Have fun with it and like don't overthink it. I hope this helped. Thank you all so much for watching. I love you all so much.
One thing about me is I can argue with an intelligent person all damn day long. But one thing I cannot fucking handle is arguing with stupid ass people, because no matter how many valid ass points you make or how many times you come at them with logic, they just can't wrap their head around it. They will quite literally never hear you out. That's why when you argue with dumbass people, they start coming for you and saying personal attacks because they actually don't know how to defend their point without doing that. 90% of the time, in turn, you have to like stoop down to their level of stupidity, and all of a sudden you see yourself like personally attacking them and shit, and you're like, what am I doing? I'm too smart for this. To argue with a dumbass person, you literally have to dumb down to their level. Stupid people probably think I'm a wuss. They could say something that I completely and utterly disagree with, but I won't even waste my breath because I just know it won't get me anywhere. Like, you just can't argue with someone who completely lacks self-awareness. Quite literally goes like this. Hey man, I think the way that you said that to me was kind of disrespectful and it made me feel a certain type of way, so could we just maybe handle it differently in the future? And they'll literally be like, that's why you have Crohn's disease, your cat died 5 years ago, and your mother doesn't love you. Like, girl, what? Closed-minded people are so fucking exhausting. No, but like I genuinely enjoy not even arguing, but like debating with people who have different opinions than me and like hearing them out and how they came to that conclusion and everything like that. But when you're just plain fucking stupid, it's not even possible. Like the way those people break when you don't agree with them. It's like a toddler when they're not allowed to eat fucking fruit snacks. So I guess this is your sign that when you are fully aware that a person does not have the brain capacity to actually debate or argue with you, and that their fragile self-esteem can't handle you disagreeing with them or having a different opinion than them, do not even waste your damn breath. Love you, hotmoggers, and I'll see you in the next one.
Get ready with me to cheat on my boyfriend. So me and my boyfriend have been dating for 5 years and it's been good so far, but then recently it's just been absolutely boring. Like, we see each other, I'll go around to his house, but we will literally just sit there and do nothing, or we'll sit on our phones, and it's the most boring, what the fuck. It's like the most boring thing possible. Like, who just wants to sit there on their phones with their boyfriends? No one. Like, I want to talk to him, but he doesn't even bother to do that. So about a month ago, I decided to download the app Tinder and see if I could find myself like a little sneaky link on there. And that's when I come across this dude called Eduardo. He looks so good, guys. And he starts like talking to me and telling me how beautiful I am and basically just entertaining me. So me and Eduardo have been talking on Tinder now for about a month, and we finally decided it was about time we finally meet up, you know, and basically get to know each other a bit more. Luckily, my boyfriend has not caught on yet, and hopefully he won't anytime soon. I mean, if he sees this video, I'm done for, but I doubt he will because I've blocked him on here. But now I'm getting ready to meet Eduardo, and I am so freaking nervous because, like, he's the love of my life. I need to impress him. We're gonna get married one day, and, like, I don't want his first impression of the real me to be, like, bad. So our plans for the day is we're going out for a sophisticated meal, and then we're gonna go back to his house and just chill and, you know, do whatever, and then we're gonna take it slow from there. But if it goes well, then, you know, we're gonna start dating without my boyfriend knowing. Of course, he can't know, he won't find out. If he does find out, then I guess I'm just gonna have to pick between him or Eduardo. Like, it's gonna be The Summer I Turned Pretty, but me version. Eduardo actually said he was gonna get me a gift, and I told him I'd get one too, but I've decided I'm not going to because, you know, I only said it because he said it, but also because I'm a broke bitch. So if anyone wants to lend a couple coins, let me know. Although Eduardo has been amazing to me, and he has been giving me money and stuff, and, like, you know, he's been, like, cash apping me, which has just been so amazing because, like I said, I am a broke bitch. But realistically, I spent all the money that he cashed at me on stuff to make myself look better for him. So I think he'll appreciate that I was making myself look good for him, and I don't think he'll care about the fact that I didn't get him a gift. But if he does care that I didn't get him a gift, then he should know that he's going to get blocked. Anyways, it's time to go get my man. Love you guys so much. Bye.
Story time on my middle school from hell. So during the first break of the day, a whole crowd had gathered around my principal, and one of the kids decided to throw it at the principal. It was a pink little, and they threw it at the principal. I don't really know why or who threw it. They never found out who threw it, I don't think. But regardless, they threw it at the principal. The principal picked it up. He threw it in the trash, and he was just kind of looking around like, who threw that? But yeah, that was like the first part. This all happened in like one day. This is like the first part of the day. Like, this happened right after first period. So towards the end of second period, right before lunch is about to start. So I realized I said something here that I can't say on TikTok, but basically we were called into a shelter in place, and we were all thinking that it was a school. I remember texting my mom like, oh my god, we're in lockdown, like, what do I do? And it ended up being called off like around 20 minutes later. But I had a friend in student aid who had that period in the office, and she found out that there is a homeless, or I don't know if he was homeless, but it was like some random man with his shirt off, and he had a duffel bag, and he had in them. His plan was to pew the school, but like, we didn't know that at the time, so we were like all chilling. And then lunch rolls around like kind of right after the lockdown was lifted, and like 10 minutes into lunch, the fire alarm goes off. So everyone is thinking, oh my god, there's this, and we're in outside school. So I remember looking around, and everyone was running every which way. Like, even though the fire alarm was going off, everyone assumed like it was something else. And there was like teachers ushering kids into the classrooms, which, like, if you see that, like, you know that even the teachers thought that there is and so everyone was freaking out. Like, there was students running into classrooms, there were students running into like the field where we're supposed to go for like a fire evacuation. And after like 5 minutes of everyone freaking out, running every which way, the fire alarm gets called off, and they're like, okay, it was just a faulty alarm, like, it's okay, it was all okay. So then the school day ends. So the day everything happened, or the day after, I really can't remember, there was like rumors going around that there was gonna be a bunch of fights the next day, and like the school, and it was like crazy. So a bunch of kids didn't show up to school the next day because they were all scared that the school was gonna get, and it was just like really scary. And I remember asking my mom, like, please, can I stay home? Like, I'm so scared. But like, my mom made me go anyways because she didn't want me missing school. So the next day rolls around, and that's when everything's supposed to happen. So cops show up to our school to like supervise during lunch and everything. And during lunch, like 2 fights broke out. And there was kids like swinging at the police officers. So they ring the bell for us to go to our last period, because this all happened during lunch. And our lunch got cut short, like 20 minutes. Like, it was that bad that there was so much chaos. They had to cut our lunch short. And we report to our 6th period. And oh my gosh, I remember how mad my teacher was. She was livid. We spent like a whole hour of class, like just a whole hour as soon as we got there, saying like how disrespectful we were, how we were such bad kids, how she had never seen a class this bad, and that she's never been more sad in her teaching career, which was understandable because like we were crazy. Like, I don't really know why we were doing all that. Like, we were really extra for doing all that. So they also took away our soap dispensers for like 2 weeks prior, so we literally had no soap at our bathroom. So when we went to the bathrooms, like, we would just wash our hands with water and nothing else. And she was just telling us how it was our fault we had no soap dispensers because we did something to them. I can't really remember exactly what we did, but I don't know. Anyway, she just went on this whole spiel about how she was so disappointed and upset and mad and yada yada yada. And the next week, there was a couple crazy things that happened too. That was the week before, or the week that COVID hit, and that was like the week before spring break. And it got to the point, or there's something that happened that made my mom have to call the cops, like while I was in class. But this is getting kind of long, so let me know if you guys want a part 2.
Every month a parade passes through my town, and we're not allowed to look at it. I've lived in Arizona the past 15 years of my life, but I used to live in a small town in the middle of nowhere. I couldn't even tell you what side of the country it's on, or if it's even in the United States. The only thing I know for certain is the name of the town, Point Pine. I lived in Point Pine for the first 10 years of my life, but after my 10th birthday, we moved out of the town, and my parents never spoke of it again. They were trying to forget about that town, and I didn't blame them. Since moving out of that town, Point Pine has not been mentioned again. Well, until now, when I'm telling you about it. I want to preface this with saying that when I lived there, all of these things seemed totally normal as residents. But now looking back, it's kind of scary. One peculiar thing was the Point Pine Bakery. Whenever you went there, Mr. Terrence, the owner, already knew what you were going to order. There was a rumor spread by the kids around town that he was a magician that could read your mind. Also, whenever you paid for your baked goods, you had to tip him in clothing, usually being something that you grew out of. There was an old box up by the register filled with old baby clothes and shoes. That was one of the weird things, but it's not odd at all compared to the other things. Every year on your birthday, you had to get blood work done. To this day, I still don't know what the point of that was. Another weird rule was everyone had to be up at 8:13 a.m. There were even speakers for an alarm that would go off at 8:13 a.m. all over town, like some kind of amusement park. When those alarms went off, parents would wake their children as fast as possible as if it was like a fire or something. But certainly one of the weirdest things that happened in Point Pine was the Point Pine monthly parade. It happened every month without fail, and it was never on the same date. Each month, a student from Pine Point was chosen to be in the parade. The weird thing about this parade is that we weren't allowed to watch it go by. Not on the streets, not from the windows, and not even on television. We always knew when the parade was about to start because it always started the exact same way. You would hear a chorus of voices, like a church choir. The melody wasn't familiar to me. It sounded like it could be a nursery rhyme or something similar to that. Once you heard the first note, you had 5 minutes to get inside. Well, one year around 4th of July, me and my friend Lee decided we were going to break the rules and watch the parade. Which, now that I think about it, I'm surprised more kids didn't try to do this, because when you tell a kid not to do something, obviously they're gonna do it. But we didn't know where it was gonna be, when it was gonna start, or the path it was gonna take around town, so we had to just wait. Around the 3rd week of the month, we heard the chorus start. Me and Lee looked at each other and darted off into the trees. Everyone else near us raced to the nearest building. This year, my sister's friend Reed was chosen to work the parade. We were crouching in the bushes when we heard the chorus of voices get louder and louder, and then Lee said, "Dude, I see it." He tried to straighten up to see what he was seeing, but I was always a short kid and I couldn't see over the brush. Then Lee said, "Oh no," and covered his head and ducked down, hiding from them. I yelled to Lee, "I can't see anything." Then Lee goes, "Shh, they might see us." I froze with fear and I stopped moving until they were about to pass right in front of us. Then Lee dove to the ground. Lee screams, "Oh no," and gets in a cradle-like position. Then he covers his head with his hands. I looked at Lee and asked, "What?" "I saw her. I saw that girl," he yelled. That's when I realized he was talking about Reed. I tried to get up to see, but Lee pulled me down to the ground. Then he looked at me and he said, "You don't want to see it." I think this was the first time in all the years I've known Lee that he looked genuinely terrified. I turned my back on the parade and looked at Lee. I'd had enough. I asked him, "What did you see?" He looked at me and said, "Those things. They're eating her." But she doesn't even care. When Lee told me this, he started crying. At this point, part of me didn't even want to see what was going on with the parade. That's when I heard the singing get louder. They were coming towards us. I shut my eyes, but the voices continued for a few more minutes. At one point, Lee started wailing. I kept my eyes shut the entire time. After that, it continued along and made its way through town. Once we started to hear everyone get out of their hiding spaces, I leaned down to help Lee get up. But when he stood up, he kept his head down. "Lee, what's wrong?" I asked. I could hear him sniffling. So I asked him again, "Lee?" He finally responded as he lifted his head. It took my eyes. I will never forget that moment when he looked up at me with no eyes. The day after that, me and my family moved out of Point Pine. I never knew what became of Lee after that day. Just minutes after we left, my parents started to act like Point Pine never existed. And as far as I know, Lee was the only person to ever be found at that parade.
Hey bitch, you get ready with me while I tell you a story time on how I had to run for my life out of a festival in Central Park because someone was... Let me tell you bitches from the beginning, because let me tell you, we should have known the red flag from the beginning that the festival was literally free, bro. I'm trying this new lip oil, by the way. I'm really excited because my lips are dry. Alright, so there was this app, I don't know if it's still a thing or not, but it used to be like a really big thing called Global Citizen, and they used to like host like festivals, and you used to get like free stuff with the points that you earned on the app. So like the way you would earn points, I don't even know, it was like going through like protests, like reading them, signing them, like posting stuff on Twitter about like certain like things that are going around the world. I don't know. So I saw they were having a festival and it was like the weekend, Cardi B, blah, blah, blah. And you needed this many points. So I made a fake Twitter. I was tweeting like these tweets and everything. And you already know I was doing everything in my power to get these free tickets, like, and get all these points up. So that I got 2 free tickets to go to this festival. And then like all my friends did, my sister did, like it was a group of us. So whatever, the day of the festival comes. I can't even remember what year this was. It was September. I don't even know. This was such a long time ago. And we're all excited. We all hop our asses on the train and we're ready to go. We go to Central Park. We're waiting on this long ass line. It's hot as hell. We probably waited on the line for like hours, bro. It was crazy. So at these festivals, they have speeches about like global issues and global warming, whatever it was. And then they had like, what just fell off my face. But then the artist comes out, then it goes back to another speech, and it's back and forth like that kind of thing. But I didn't know it was like that. So whatever, we're hot, we're hungry. We see everyone like came prepared with blankets and stuff, had them laid out on the grass. We're chilling, watching the festival. So we're like, what are we gonna do? And like, obviously we all wanted to sit down, enjoy our food, watch the festival, and just chill, have a good day. You know what I'm saying? So like by the entrance of where the concert was, where Central Park was, like the opening to get in, there was like a bunch of food places, so obviously we were all hungry and like dehydrated from waiting on that long ass line, sweating our asses off. So I got some food, I got some stupid little salad, and while we were on the line, we saw these cardboard boxes on the side, so we're like, okay, this is our little blanket to sit on. So we grabbed some cardboard boxes, made a little place to sit, took our shoes off, we're chilling, eating our food, whatever. And you know, they're saying their speech and everything, and I'm just waiting for Cardi B and The Weeknd to come out. That's the only reason why I went. Like, my broke ass just wanted some free concert tickets to see The Weeknd and Cardi B and just have a good day, you know what I'm saying? So finally, this little speech that they had going on ended and Cardi B came out. I'm standing up, I'm singing all the way in the back by the exit, by the way, keep that in mind. And we're all chilling, like, we're all having a good time, you know, like, nothing crazy is happening so far. Then I got tired, so, like, we all sat down and we're just eating our food again, talking, chilling, whatever. And then all of a sudden, I heard, like, a bunch of banging noises, like, one after another, but I didn't think anything of it, right? Well, all of a a sudden, I look to my left and I see a crowd of people running at us, bro. And we're all sitting on our like little like cardboard box with our shoes off. And we look over and see all these people running at us. And we're like, what? Because we're by the exit of the festival. And before I had any time to even like look at everyone that I was with and be like, what's going on? People were screaming, shots been fired, run. So I just grabbed my bag and I started running. No shoes. I didn't grab my shoes. I didn't care. When I tell you I was running for my life, I'm not even kidding. Like, I never knew I could run so fast in my life. I'm jumping over porta potties. I'm jumping over barricades. I'm running into cops. This shit is getting crazy, right? People are getting trampled in front of me. Like I said, there were 60,000 people there. I lost everyone that I was with, and all I could hear was people screaming, getting trampled. And then Cardi B just rapping in the background, bro. As I'm running, my purse is open, so everything is flying out of it. My perfume shatters in front of me. I step on glass. My foot is bleeding. I'm running. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm running so fast. Trying to call my sister. She's not answering the phone. So then at this point, I thought my sister got trampled and is... You know what I'm saying? I thought she died. I started having a panic attack because I'm like, bro, my sister's dead. What the hell? And as I'm trying to call her, my phone goes flying out of my hand because I was running so fast. And obviously, I had no one near me, no one with me. And my dumbass runs back to grab it. So as my dumbass runs back, grabs my phone, I look up. I found my friend Melissa. And let me tell you, I was so happy that I found someone that I knew because I thought everyone literally died. So then as I'm running, I start calling my mom. And I'm like, Mom, someone's shooting up the festival, bro. Someone's shooting up the festival. She's like, what? And she hops in her car and she's on the way. My poor mom, and I'm like, I can't hear from Julia. She's probably dead. Like, it was so bad. We finally exited the gates or whatever, and I'm like still trying to call my sister. No answer. The cops are outside. What's going on? They don't know what's happening. And everyone's like, someone's shooting up in there. Everyone's running. The streets are flooded. It was crazy. The socks on my feet are ripped. I'm walking the streets trying to find my sister, my ex-boyfriend, my friend. I couldn't find anyone. So eventually we got tired and we went to the hotel and they gave us water bottles and stuff because they saw how many people were out on the street and they were so concerned because we had no shoes on. Nothing at all. Then eventually, off a cop's phone, my ex-boyfriend calls me and he's like, oh, I'm with this cop. I lost my phone running. Like, because we were all running for our life. What the hell did I just do? So I met up with him, eventually found my sister, and I was just so happy, like, no one died, because I literally thought everyone was dying. Then eventually someone was there to pick us up. I can't remember if it was my mom or whoever it was, but I was shocked, because this was, like, one of the craziest things that's ever happened, because, bro, when you look to your left and see 60,000 people running at you, it's scary. And, like, when you think your family members are, like, dead and, like, your loved ones are dead and, like, all this crazy stuff, you think someone's shooting up a festival that you're at? Well, then I found out people went back to see The Weeknd, which was the main reason I went because I really loved The Weeknd. And I saw people were back at the concert for The Weeknd. So I was like, what? Because come to find out, no one was actually shooting up the festival. What really happened was barricades were falling on each other and everyone was paranoid and started running and scared everyone else. So everyone scared the shit out of us and had us run for our lives, and everyone got trampled and sent to the hospital because of a barricade falling. And then the next day I'm scrolling on Facebook and then I saw this thing. I saw a picture of millions of shoes that looked like millions of shoes. And like purses and phones and all these lost things that people left behind from the festival from running out. And then I saw the cute ass sneakers that I was wearing that day, and then the Doc Martens that were mine that my sister was wearing that I also lost on the picture. So basically I got this shit scared out of me for no reason. Thought my whole family was... And lost 2 good pairs of shoes because of a fake. But yeah, bitch, that was my little story time, because I have so many story times. Let me know if you want more of these, because a lot of crazy shit has happened. Stay tuned for the Get Dressed With Me video. I will talk to you bitches later. Bye.
What name do I look like I would have? Don't look at my username. I just want to know what vibe I give off. But you know what's weird? I always see people in my comments and they're like, I have never seen anybody that fits your name more than you. And I feel like that's a compliment. But guys, let me know, like, what do I look like?
The dark truth behind mob wife makeup. Social media is going crazy over the mob wife look. Of course we are. She's got this hardcore glamour. She's bold. She's beautiful. But what's it really like being married to a man who solves his problems with violence? Black liner makes the swelling look smaller. A lot of eyeshadow? Well, that hides the bruising. Yellow concealer to hide the purple. And green concealer for the red. And a brightening concealer to make it look like we've slept. And a heavy layer of foundation for the lighter bruising. Finish off with an eyelash and you can't even see the black eye anymore. And a red lip, just in case it starts bleeding again. People will look at her and they'll say she's too much. But the truth is, she just found a way to survive.
This is ruined. It's giving put in the wash. It's giving put in the wash.